Somebody always asks me, I want to do lights. And they always say they have, I already have projectors in my car. Well, I'm here to show you that all projectors are not created equal. Not all light output is created equal. So we have some. Here's your standard halogen. I pulled these out of eBay housing headlights. And then I also pulled these out, eBay projectors. These are a halogen projector. Everything's created differently with these. And this is some little eBay light I pulled out of some random junkyard housing. Now you have difference. You have single xenon and you have bi-xenon. A single xenon is like this, like found on an Acura Tl Projector, where you have a reflector bowl and you have a fixed shield that stays right down here. So this shield does not move at all. Nothing moves. And then you have this. It's an E55 style projector found in a BMW F10. I hacked it up. But you have a little solenoid down here. And when you hit your high beams, it sends a 12-volt signal to activate this, and it pushes this little solenoid in, and it drops this shield. And that's what gives you your high beams on a bi-xenon setup. Now, there's all kinds of different projectors available, but one of the big things people don't realize about projectors is there's different lens types. You got frosted lenses, you have Fresnel lenses, and then you have clear lenses. Clear lenses give the best output, but they also give the sharpest cutoff. Fresnel lenses do not give a sharp cutoff, but they kind of diffuse the light and disperse it a little bit more. So you really can't see them a whole lot in here. See if I can't find my little light somewhere. Oh, it's on my head. So this right here has ripples all the way through it. This is what we call a Fresnel lens, which is most commonly found on cars today. And this, we have a clear lens, which is, there's no frosting, there's no Fresneling, it's just clear glass, and the focal length always varies between projector to projector. Now, when it gets dark out, I'll show you. Like, we have a set of Acura TLs right here. I have one that has a Fresnel lens in it. I have another one that has a clear lens in it. That's the only differences between these two. All these are going to be using brand new Morimoto 5000 Kelvin bulbs. Right here we have an Evo XR. Right here we have the new Mini D4S. Over here we have an Acura RL single xenon. And right here we have a FXR 3.0 by Xenon. And then when we get into the LEDs, we got a nice Morimoto Sealed 7 setup over here to compare LEDs. Of course, we always got the amazing MDX LEDs. And then I hit the other subject of LED bulbs compared to halogen bulbs. So when that time comes, when the sun goes down all the way, I'll be able to show you a little bit more. And sorry about the car noises. Alright, we're going to start off with the eBay halogen housing. This is your typical halogen high beam setup. You can see it's very intense. Doesn't really put out that much light. We are set up 35 feet away from the garage wall. The garage is 30 feet wide, so this gives you an idea of your driving range. Here we have the Halogen Eba Projector. As you can see, it's actually pretty good for an eBay projector. I'm not sure, I think this is the Depot brand. But it's fairly wide, not bad color, good hot spot right there in the center. So I mean, that's absolutely, horrible. There's a little bit of glaring going up around the top, but still not too bad. Alright, this is my most hated thing in the world. Idiots who put HIDs into halogen reflector housings. And there's my dog. As you can see, there's glare everywhere. Now this is going into the eyes of the oncoming traffic. There's nothing you can do to stop this. This is always going to happen when it comes to halogen reflectors. Now you see, here's my other thing. This is the eBay projector with the HID bulb. The cutoff is Boeing. This car pass. And There's some ghosting light going up around the window, whatnot. It's still not horrible compared to what I'm used to seeing with eBay projectors. This is still very well controlled light. But as you can see in the center, there's no hot spot. Everything's dispersed, but there's really no hot spot. And that's what you're really looking for when you're driving, is that hot spot when you're going down the road. Take the cutoff all the way over there to show the width. You can see it's just not that wide. Here we have the Acura TL projector. This is the frontal lens. Still has no modifications done to it at all. This is one of the best performing projectors. Foreground limiter is still in place. You can see it's got that nice hot spot. Everything is dispersed evenly. And then we'll activate the high beam. And that's what a high beam should look like on the HID projector. This is one of the best projectors to use. It also is one of the biggest and hardest ones to use because of its size. Now here we have the Acura TL with the clear lens. As you can see, it's much sharper, much brighter, and I love that color. Look at that color, look how wide that is. I just love that thing. Now these can be modified further by spacing out the shield, spacing out the lens. There's all kinds of modifications you can do to increase light output, to increase the sharpness of what you want it to be. This is the Acura RL single Xenon. So this is not a bi-Xenon. This is only a low beam projector. And this one does have a clear lens on it right now. And this is one of my favorite projectors. It's nice and wide. So much width. I love the width of this thing. Here we have the FXR 3.0s. It's a great compact little bi-Xenon projector. It's not as wide as a TL, but it's still a great performer. As you see, it has a very, very sharp cutoff. And it has a lot of foreground lighting. Here we have the new Mini D2S 4.0. It's a great performing projector. I love the compact size. And the high beam is just perfect. It's just what you need. Alright, next subject we're going on to is plug and play LED bulbs. Now I'm going to go ahead and start off from the beginning again. That's what a plug and play LED bulb does in the reflector housing. Just like an HID kit, just sends glare everywhere, not a controlled light. I'll put it into the halogen projector. As you can see, the bulb spacing is not correct, even though this is the correct sized bulb for it, which is a H11 bulb. And you can see what it did to that cutoff. It destroyed the cutoff and just made everything horrible. The light output's not there, and in my opinion, it looked better halogen. And you have people marketing mini H1s and all the other HID projectors, and oh yeah, you can just throw a LED bulb in there. Yeah, you can just. This is a Mini D2S 4.0, and you can see what it did to that. It destroyed the output. Barely any width at all. And when you activate the high beam, it's not actually a half bad high beam. But you can't drive around with high beams on, now you're just going to be blinding everybody. But look at that beam, that's just horrible. You see how the edges go up on the sides? That will hit oncoming drivers in the eyes. And that will give them glare and blindness and disorient other drivers on the road. You want a nice level cutoff. That way it stays below the mirrors of the other people, or it stays below the eyes of the oncoming traffic. And those swoops will go along the sides. And this is only at 35 feet out. Just imagine how high that's going to go up when you're 100 feet down the road, 200 feet down the road. So I do not advise putting in LED bulbs into any kind of projector or any kind of housing. If you do it, you know, maybe a fog light housing, if that, because it's so low to the ground, it may not affect anything. But the light output is really not that usable, as you can see for most. So here's the Morimoto Sealed 7 LED projectors, and it's quite nice, pleasant, pretty wide. If I had a bike, I would definitely have these, or if I had like an NA Miata, or you know, something with some pop-up lights. This is a great solution instead of doing, you know, a projector retrofit. Plenty of width. Go over here and activate the high beam. There we go. That's the high beam, and the low beam's on, which is not a bad setup. And here we have the Acura MDX LEDs. Now these will give us slight glares, as you can see the lines going above. You know, most of the time you're only just seeing these drive down the road. That's going to be colored. You're going to see like a color flicker, some blues, some purples, and some other artifacts. But these are very solid performers for LEDs. They are absolutely huge. They're very difficult to retrofit. But the awe factor of them all, when you go to any kind of event, it always seems to get people's attention. Go ahead and activate the high beam. Oh, look at that hot spot. That's a beautiful hot spot for a high beam. That's what you want to see when you get to a high beam. That nice hot spot. Covers up on the foreground and also goes out into the distance. Now mind you, like I said, we're only 35 feet away from this wall, so you know, most people do practices between 20 and 30 feet. I went out 35 feet, and you still get nice color to this.